Aries, how are you? I hope you've been taking excellent care of yourself, and I am so grateful to be spending this precious time with you. And I'm really just excited to dig in and see what your current energy, your present energy is saying for you and what your spirit team wants you to know right now. I've already cleansed and meditated on this space. And if you're returning here, you might notice that my setup is a little different at the moment. We're testing some things out. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to the desk view so you can see me shuffling. And I want to go ahead and get our overall energy for this reading with the Violet Aveline Tarot. So thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you to Spirit Team of Aries. What is the overall energy of this reading? The overall energy, please. All right. Huh. Overall energy, please, and thank you. You know, this one on the deck, on the bottom of the deck, is the one that is sticking out here. It's the Seven of Swords. And then we have the World at the bottom. I actually feel like that needs to be out here too. Yeah. Seven of Swords. You know, this can be a trickster energy, even if the trickster is you to yourself. I kind of get that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I get for most people, they'll probably click off of something like this, and that's understandable. It's hard to look at these aspects of ourselves when we're not ready, if we're not ready for it. But, you know, honestly, if you were drawn to this message, then you're ready to hear this. That's what I always tell clients who book personal readings with me. Since the beginning of doing this, I say, Spirit is not going to tell you anything that you're not ready to hear. Now, if it's too heavy, if it's too challenging, if you're not in the right headspace, then you can come back later. But they're not going to tell you something that you're not ready to currently hear. And I think you're at the tail end of this self-sabotaging behavior, whatever this may have looked like for you. And I kind of get that some of the self-sabotaging behavior, if I'm being honest, was this constant desire, even if you were rebelling against it at the same time, which is really fascinating. But this constant desire to fit in, to do things the way that everyone around you is doing them, that society says we do them, and then like rebelling against it at the same time, which is really wild energy, honestly. But I feel like you're at the tail end of this because I think the reason you were doing this was like, what I'm hearing is like, chase that coin, which is not a phrase I've ever said in my life. So like there was some root wounding here of wanting to be successful, of wanting to make money, of wanting to maybe have a title or status, even as you were simultaneously rebelling against the idea of that, there was this underlying root, I want to say like desire to kind of fit the typical mold and achieve or receive or work towards those things anyway. I think you've been doing a lot of work on yourself to reach a level of wholeness that is willing to look at shadow aspects, even one maybe as deep as this one, because we're talking about your ego and your identity And really, I keep wanting to say a root wounding from very early on, where you realized I have to look, act, be, do XYZ to fit in, to be able to eat, to clothe myself, to have a roof over my head. And at the same time that you had this realization as a kid, you also had like a real disdain for it. You had a real disdain for it. And this has showed up in different ways in your life. It's like both wanting to be accepted and to like shun everybody who needs the acceptance. Like, you don't need that to fit in. You don't need that to be cool. You don't need that to follow your dreams. But then you are also doing it. And I think, you've done so much healing work. It feels like really apparent. You're not new on the self-healing journey, on like recognizing, hey, there's some stuff about myself I got to work on. Past hurts and losses and rejections and perceived failures, failed relationships of every kind. And it was like, yeah, the world card here says a powerful understanding. I feel like you've had a series of powerful understandings about yourself that have helped you say, oh, it's like shone a spotlight on it. Oh, I can't do this anymore. Like the trying to keep up, that phrase, like trying to keep up with the Joneses, but it was even on a more personal level, just as a person trying to keep up with society, was so exhausting for you. There's something about 7-Eleven. This is just like just popped in here. So maybe for someone listening, that's significant. There's something about the 7-Eleven gas station. And so I'm trying to think of what the significance would be, unless it was just a signifier for you for this reading. But I'm thinking like when I would go to 7-Elevens as a kid, I'd walk there with my sister and we would get slushies. And I was between the ages of, I don't know, 7 and 9. Like that was the time period when I wanted to go to 7-Eleven. So perhaps there was, if 7-Eleven isn't significant for you, perhaps it was something around that age range of like 7 to 9 and that makes sense, because especially if you went to public school or any kind of school, I guess it doesn't matter public, but that's the time when we start, I believe in psychology, they say like from 7 years old on is when you start really developing your own personality and you're taking in the world and how other peers act and like understanding. Yeah, it's like a greater understanding of what's going on in the world. So there's something significant maybe about that time period of your life, 7 to 9, that really instilled this false belief that I have to do these things in order to be worthy of existence. That's like the heaviest thing I could possibly say to you. And I'm sorry if this is too heavy. But it did instill this core belief that I have to look this way, do these things, talk this way, like this stuff, do this job, make this amount of money in order to be worthy of existence. And your higher self, your innermost knowing was like, F that noise. That's not true. But so there's this like constant tug of war going on inside of you. And I think in your established adulthood is what I want to say. So whatever that looks like for you. So like late 20s, 30s is what I want to say. Maybe some for 40s. You were doing like the status quo stuff. You were doing stuff that you thought you were supposed to do, like work the job, buy the car, marry the person, build the house. I don't know, like stuff like that, you know? And it's not to say that any of that isn't meaningful or inauthentic. I just think you've come to this greater understanding that these things, that maybe the driving force of them was this, I say weird because it feels weird to you, not that it is weird, was this weird desire to both rebel against something and fulfill it, like fulfilling a prophecy almost. Let's get some more information. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that this reading was going to get this heavy. So if you're still with me, bless you. But here's the thing. All of this work that you're doing and this recognition and like this understanding and moment that you're having with this epiphany is to get you to a level of success that your innermost self has always desired to achieve. And it feels very artsy, very creative, very you. And that you is unlike anyone else. And I'm not saying this to prop you up. I'm saying like it's very, very unique. This person on this card has hot pink skin, which could be like a significant color for someone I'm getting, this pink. There's a candle floating above their head. There's a crown. They have 3 eyes. They're doing a very impressive dance pose. I don't know the name of that. There's like, they're on their toes. They're balancing a snake around them. This is, you know, unique for sure. And it's all of this is to get you to the level of success and like wholeness that you were always meant to strive for and reach in this lifetime. Okay. Can we have some more information, please? Can we have some more? Thank you. Yeah. 9 of Cups. Literally, that everything that you are excavating inside of you right now and going through and all the pain is to get you out from under this feeling of lack, of inherent lack, unworthiness. Yeah, man. Like this is heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. And all of this that you're going through, and you've been making great progress. Like you're going through this pretty quickly, quicker than I think your spirit team and higher self even thought you were ever going to be able to like process and work through and navigate, because of how long this was kind of rooted in you. Yeah. 8 of Cups. Because of the gravity of what you have been, I keep getting this word of excavating. You're excavating these parts of yourself. And at the root of it is trying to fill up a wound of feeling like you're not worthy of existing. And Jesus, I feel this so intensely. So intensely. We have the Devil at the bottom of the deck, which just clarifies that stuck feeling of feeling like I have no choice but to do these things. I'm bound to the rules of the universe, which is you must, you know, get married and buy a house and work this job and pay these bills until you die. And that will be my legacy, and that's enough. And your innermost self is like, no. Your innermost self is constantly rebelling against this idea. And some points in your life, you were just like full steam ahead. I am not thinking about this. I know these are the steps people have said. Do these steps. I'm going to do these steps. I do these steps. I'm left unfulfilled. I'm left unworthy. No matter how much I accomplish, it's never feeling like enough. Why is that? Like this question, why? Why doesn't this feel like enough? And this is that excavation work that you've been doing. You've been walking away from these old beliefs, things that were holding you back. You were finding balance. I mean, so now it kind of feels like you've done all this work, and now we're getting to the real nitty gritty, I guess I would say, of like, where's the root of this plant so I can pull it out, so I don't keep watering this weed that I convinced myself was the rose garden, you know, but it never really felt like the rose garden. And I kind of hate roses. I hope this makes sense. It's like that. Okay, but we've established this. So Spirit, can we have information on what's going on then? Where are we going here? Where are we going? Yeah, there's this internal tug of war. There may even be like dissonance, I want to say, in relationships in your life, because some of them, not all of them, and maybe not even entirely, but some of them are connected and were kind of forged and watered by this thing in your brain that said, I have to do things this way. I have no choice. This is the way you do them. And so I got to do them. And so then as you're excavating these things, yeah, Three of Cups, as you're excavating them, working through them, releasing them, it undoubtedly leaves feelings about, where do I go from here? What does this look like now? Do I still feel the same way in these relationships? Do I still feel the same way about this career? Like, do I let this all go? And then there's this tug of war of like feeling guilty about that. But here's the thing. I think, and this is just my own opinion reading this energy for you, I think you're doing yourself and whoever else this may be a disservice by staying where you've been out of a feeling of guilt and obligation, because it feels like maybe some of these relationships were built upon that, like that was the foundation. Not that you didn't care about them or that you didn't love them or that you were just held, you know, with a you know what against your head. It's not like that. It was much deeper than that, much more complicated, and even foggy to you for a very long time. So your life is now. This is it. I mean, we really don't ever know. We really don't ever know when our last day is. Do you want to continue it in this? If you're really unhappy somewhere, I think you're doing whatever situation this is resonating for you and yourself a favor by following in the steps that feel the most aligned for you. And that is the fair thing to do for everyone involved. That's the right thing to do. Ultimately, though, what you're doing by doing all this work is you're manifesting a very joyful experience. You are allowing things to shed away and die that don't serve you anymore, maybe never served you. But it's a very intense transformation you're going through. There's a lot of painful endings, I feel, going on here for you. And Spirit's wanting to let you know that this, you know, you're ready for this. Because it was never, I mean, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to do the things you've been doing. And it is okay to look ahead of this and say, things have to end that aren't working for me anymore in order for me to have the space and the room to build the most authentic life for me that does spark joy, that does make me excited, that feels light and aligned instead of heavy and, riddled with guilt and anything else that might be attached to it. Anything else on this part? I kind of want to move to some oracle cards. Yeah, you're strong enough to do this. Strength. You're strong enough to overcome this. You're strong enough to move through this, to make the tough decisions, to do the hard things. Even sometimes if it feels impossible, if it feels incredibly painful, you're strong enough to get through this so that you can live your most abundant and successful and whole life. I just feel like you're in a place right now where you are allowing yourself to see yourself and what you're worthy of and what you truly desire and what you want life to look like. And you don't have to live in an environment or in a situation or a job or a relationship, whatever, that doesn't support that or build you up or cheer you on when you're doing like this really intense personal shadow work that you're doing. You need to know that you are strong enough to do this. You're healing from this. You will continue to heal from this. The Star card is literally about healing. And there's also an element with the Star card about being seen. So perhaps there's somewhere in your life where you feel stifled, where you want to show up more. You want to, maybe it's creating content of some kind. You want to put yourself out there. You want time for that. You want to feel safe to do that. And whatever this stuff is that you are feeling this intense call to walk away from, that no longer feels aligned for you, is holding you back from that. Like if you're wondering why is such and such not panning out, or why can't I seem to like get the steam going, it's because you have heavy baggage that needs sorted and released. And I really believe somewhere inside, like you're aware of this, but you have to summon up a lot of strength in order to be able to do it. You have a very acute clarity now that I want to say. It's so interesting because the same thing keeps coming up over and over again, and it's with the Wizard of Oz. And it's once you see the man behind the curtain, like you can't put the curtain back and unsee it. It is there. And I very much think this is where you are in life right now, because you're no longer tricking yourself to believe, it's not really like that. This is just something I'm going through. It'll get better. It'll go away. Like, no, you've been doing the work. You've been doing the work to get better. You've been doing the work to heal, to love yourself fully, to create a home inside yourself. And once you do that, you're like, okay, well, this couch doesn't really fit here, and this bed doesn't fit, and I never liked that picture. It's like, okay, so are you going to live inside this house you've built and you hate and nothing fits? No, you wouldn't do that. And now here you are with your life. It's just feels a lot harder than rearranging furniture, because I feel like you're rearranging the big things, career, relationships, stuff like that. But you can do it. You are strong enough to do it. This will complete this. There's always more work to do. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but like this big cycle, you are completing that with your ability to walk away from some things and let some things go that just aren't aligned for you anymore. And ultimately, this leads to your wish fulfillment. Why do I say that? Because the first card that came out was the Nine of Cups. This is what you're looking for. Your higher self is leading you to your wish fulfillment, the things that you truly desire. So what is that, Spirit? Can we get clearer, more specific information? What is the wish fulfillment for those listening? Oh, ooh, whoa. Okay, we got the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck, and we got the Devil with the Ace of Wands. Oh, this is so clear. So very much so, what you desire is for your work to be seen, your creativity to be seen, because it does feel very creative, for you to be able to make a living off that, to feel aligned in what you're creating, who you're with, what you're doing in the world, and be able to have the material sustenance that supports that. But also you desire to be challenged. You desire to have someone or something that sparks this creative passion, the spark inside of you that makes you go, I want to do that. I want to create that. Let's go. Let's make this thing. And to also feel very supported by the universe as you do it. This is what you really desire. I mean, and the Ace of Wands is a yes card. This is a go. This is a do it. This is permission slip energy. It's also miraculous. Like, here is this wand of inspiration, child. Go forth with this divine epiphany you've been given of inspiration. Like, that's the energy from the universe that I'm getting from this. And your creative flow feels stifled and stuck where you are right now. And that's the truth. It's so weird. I don't know what this energy is. It feels very Aries, actually. But like, that's the most confident I've ever felt saying anything in a reading ever. That is what you desire. And the only way that you can do that is to summon the strength to make the hard decisions and walk away from what's not aligned for you anymore. And you can do this. You can do this. The wheel is already turning in your favor because of the work that you had been doing. And now it's time to release what needs released. That's where you're at, my friend. I mean, that burst, that energetic burst that I got when these cards came out is exactly what you're going to be feeling when you've cleared the way, when you've made space for the new, for new energy, because that's what you need. You need to be able to feel like the world is full of infinite possibilities again. I am not bound to anything. I'm not stuck to anything. And now listen, I want to say I am not saying like, if you don't like your life, you should leave your children and go and run away and never speak to them again. So please don't take that as what I'm saying. Absolutely not. This is just tarot guidance, okay? But it is saying if you're in an environment that hasn't been working for a while and it's not aligned for you and it doesn't bring you joy and it's stifling your creative energy and your personal growth, then maybe we need to find a way to amicably go separate ways. Or if it's a job, same thing, you know? This isn't like release everyone and move to another continent and everybody wonders where you are. It's a healed version of you. That healed version is not abandoning anyone. You're just shifting the way things look so things feel more aligned for you and less heavy. Okay, this feels like it was a really heavy reading. I really want to finish this with some affirmations and see where that takes us. But can we please have some affirmation? Oh, that came out fast. Oh my gosh, you're going to lose it. I let go of the anxieties of others. Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually probably very appropriate for where you're at. I think you've already energetically let go, but you're a caring person. You care about people and you're anxious about the anxiety or hurt or pain you might be causing other people by leaving relationships or a career or another situation. And it says, I am magnetic to what I want. I repel what I do not want. And this is exactly what we've been talking about. You are more in tune with that which feels truly aligned to your soul. And so anything other than that is what we repel. We're not staying in situations that are not what you want. We're not magnetizing things that we don't want anymore because we think that's what we're supposed to do. You know, we're the Knight of Swords in this situation, blindly charging forward because we're aware that where we have been is not where we should be. We know where we're supposed to go, even if we don't know what it's going to look like. It's not here. And so we're charging ahead. And that's where we're at right now. Can we have one more, please? Thank you. I can guide and lead others wisely and with love. And I think that's very appropriate, because especially with the Strength card here, because you are a much wiser and more healed version of yourself than you've ever been. You can do these things wisely and with love. And then at the bottom it says, failure is only learning. I move with confidence and resilience. And failure is just a perception. It's just a perspective. It's not necessarily true, because mistakes help us grow. Perceived failures are just it's just learning. And this is where you are right now. I just cut the deck and it says, I will not remain stuck. I choose change. So, I mean, that's insane. If I could, if I might title this reading that, I will not remain stuck. I choose change, because that's what this reading is about, I think. And this is what you're going to be choosing. And you're not sabotaging yourself anymore. You see yourself. You love yourself. You want to love yourself even more. You're aspiring to a level of wholeness that you've never felt yet in this lifetime. And you're going to do it. You are going to do it, my friend. I'm very proud of you and all the work that you've done. And I can't wait to see where you go moving forward. Okay, Aries. This was your message. Thank you so much for spending your precious time here with me today. If this resonated for you, please like, share, or subscribe. Leave a comment and let me know how it resonated for you. If you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, you can find all that information at my website at theseaowl.com. It's also in the description box below. And more than anything, please take excellent care of yourself. And I will see you soon. Bye.